and then they're committing another crime. So is this not a failure of things like social services and support for people who have committed crimes?
Are you serious?
Are you serious? Ladies and gents, welcome back. Pierre Poilievre is no stranger to getting grilled at the podium by the mainstream media. But when it comes to bail reform, they just don't seem to get what is actually being said here. And it shows this clip here from yesterday shows just how out of touch the mainstream media and the press gallery actually are with the realities of bail in Canada and how it's leading to more criminals being on the street, committing the same crimes over and over and over again. Let's just get into the clip because this is just ridiculous. Andrew Lawton here also saying on Twitter, this is both painful and hilarious to listen to. A reporter who clearly doesn't know what they're asking about, but is nonetheless trying to outrage Pierre Poilievre.
When you talk about bail, the crime has already happened, or the alleged crime has already happened. So how can you attribute bail to this increase in crime and not, should there not be more supportive measures to prevent the crime in the first place?
Well,
You're talking about someone being on bail. They've already allegedly committed the crime. So where
you can see that everyone in this scenario is just so puzzled by the question because it seems so obvious to understand when people are let out on bail right away after committing a crime. The possibility of them going and reoffending is so high that it's just astonishing that this person doesn't get that.
You know,
they're committing crimes on bail. That's the problem. The problem is, I'll give you an example. In Vancouver, the same 40 offenders were arrested 6,000 times in a year. That's 150 arrests per offender per year. Why? Because they're arrested in the morning, then they're released on bail by noon, they reoffend, they're back in jail by 2 in the afternoon, and then they're released by the evening so that they can commit their final crime before they go to bed.
It's a failure of the system to not support people who have committed crimes, gone to jail, served their sentence, you know, and then they're committing another crime. So is this not a failure of things like social services and support for people who have committed crimes?
Are you serious?
I'm asking you a
question. I mean, are you serious? Come on. You're telling me, no, excuse me, let me answer your question. Are you honestly saying that it's society's fault if a repeat violent offender commits 60 or 70 offenses? I think that criminal is to blame for his own actions. He is personally responsible. We're not talking about some kid who made one mistake when he was 19. We're talking about people who do 60, 70 violent offenses. And then they're, because they're criminals.
But why are they criminals?
Because they do crime.
Why do they do crime?
Because we let them out early on bail.
So because they
I think we've solved the riddle here.
Because they got let out early on bail.
That's right.
They then commit the crime.
That's right.
So
that's what all the experts agree is the cause of the crime.
So had they stayed in jail the whole time, on bail, in jail, not on bail as you say, they would then not commit crimes?
Because they'd be in jail, so they couldn't commit crimes.
And when they get out at the end of their sentence, they're crime-free?
Well, we can't guarantee that, but what we can guarantee is the period when they're behind bars, they will not be able to do crime.
Unbelievably painful to watch, but this is an obvious situation. If criminals are behind bars, they're not out on the streets committing crimes. And well, the problem here is that we have a bail situation where, again, as Pierre Poilievre just illustrated there, a criminal can go out, commit a crime, by the afternoon, have committed a crime in the morning, by the afternoon, go commit another crime, be out on bail again, and then commit another crime and get caught and then be back in on his third crime for the day. And as we've seen in Vancouver, 40 criminals committing over 6,000 crimes last year. That is just a ridiculous amount of amount of crimes that are committed by a small group of individuals if they didn't have the bail that they had. the bail system, they wouldn't be able to go out and do this over and over again. Now, there has been a bail reform proposal, and this is in the form of Bill C-48, proposed changes to strengthen Canada's bail system. But, well, I'm not going to go through reading this whole proposal here in the video, but I can go to a legal expert who does sift through this stuff, and that's Ian Runkle of the Bailey on YouTube. He says, so the government just released the first draft of Bill C-48, their big push of, look, we're doing something about bail. I can summarize the practical effects very briefly. The bill does F all. Nothing. It's a scam they're pulling on the public. He went on to continue to say, as a defense lawyer, if this were passed today, I wouldn't even consider it important to read for other lawyers. I'd be surprised if the result is more than like a single extra detention per month. Likely zero change. And well, you can take it from this guy. He's a legal expert. Go check out his YouTube channel, by the way, Runkle of the Bailey. I'll put a link in the description down below. He's very knowledgeable on this situation. But this is leading to other issues in Canada. I mean, namely, one, RCMP is struggling with recruiting as people are afraid to enter this profession with so many criminals still out on the streets and violence happening in our cities. This is becoming the norm in Canada. We have from the Post Millennial here, massacre of Canadian cops, police scared to go to work right now. And of course, having a hard time recruiting new people to come in thanks to Justin Trudeau and his bail reforms. I think the government needs to get itself involved and start toughening up on the crime bills. Since September 2022, 9 Canadian police officers have been killed in the line of duty, changing a trend that has seen only an average of 2 Canadian cops killed per year dating back to 1990. President of the Ottawa Police Association, Matthew Cox, said to the Epoch Times, it's as if there's an actual attack on the policing community. We have never seen this before in Canada. Canada has seen an increase in violent crime since 2020, and Cox said many police are scared to go to work right now, according to the Epoch Times. Cox added, I think that the government needs to get itself involved and start toughening up on crime bills. Well, this is, obviously one of the crime bills here, Bill C-48, which is supposed to toughen up on bail, but it doesn't seem to be doing enough, as was alluded to by the leader of the opposition, the Conservative Party, Pierre Poilievre there. And it shows that people are just not in touch with what's going on. This is a perfect illustration with how confusing this is for maybe Liberals and NDP, that it's not about society, preparing people for the world. It's not about we're not doing enough with social services. There is a contingency in the public, in the population, that have just a criminal element. And this is just always going to be the case. It's always been the case since time immemorial, that there are bad actors in society. And this is how society takes care of these bad actors. We put them in cages. We put them behind bars away from the general population. We don't reward them for their behavior. Because what happens in a situation like this? Well, it happens to be that, all the rest of society falls around it. According to the National Post, Acting Deputy Chief of Edmonton Police Services Community Policing Bureau, tragic, senseless deaths like these set off a wide range of emotions for all of us. We're all human, so many things go through a police officer's mind when the unthinkable happens. On May 11th, it goes through, you can read this, I'll leave a link in the description down below, but it shows a number of situations where officers were slain in the line of duty, and these are all needless crimes. These are, majority of these crimes are people who were out on bail for other crimes, other violent offenses. And this is the kind of thing that gives criminals the hubris to feel that they can do anything and get away with it, you get put into custody for mere hours and then let back out on the streets. And this is the situation that we are dealing with now. But hey, I'm going to leave this with you guys. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think about bail reform in Canada and the just lack of understanding when it comes to this from the establishment in press or academia or wherever you happen to be. There seems to be a massive misunderstanding of what the actual motivations behind people wanting to have bail reform are, and what this one element in society is of people that are just going to commit crimes. This just happens to be an element in any society. It's not singularly part of ours, but it seems to be getting out of hand because of our behavior as of late. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think, and we'll see you in the next one. Keep on trucking.